Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of All the Things They Don't Want You to Know. My name is Angie Dunn, and I'm going to be your podcast host. See, I was a very unfortunate, I guess you should say, young lady growing up, and I didn't even know it. Let's be honest, in elementary school, you don't know that you come from a poor family. You have no idea. Only thing you know is that life is great, right? And then you get on to middle school and you realize that maybe your clothes don't look the same as everybody else's. And maybe kids start making fun of you. Now, in my instance, I come from a very small town in Virginia. And it's actually called Wilson's, Virginia. You could barely find it on a map, I'm sure. I actually lived beside a railroad track in a little single wide trailer. Now, growing up as a kid, I had a great childhood. Lots of fun through the summers, brothers and sisters to play with. But as we get older, we realize that we're a little bit different. See, as I got older, I realized that nobody took the time to actually teach my parents how to budget, how to save, how to plan for retirement. It's not that they didn't want to. It's not that they couldn't. It's that nobody ever told them how important it was. Nobody ever gave them the hope that they could have nicer things or better things or even an enjoyment retirement when they did retire. See, the only thing they were taught is that they needed to get a job and they needed to go to work and they needed to pay bills. And most of the time they were scraping from one paycheck to the next just to make sure those bills were covered. Now look, I'm going to be honest with you. As I got older, I realized that that was really not the life that I wanted. That was not the life that I was willing to live. And I certainly didn't want to have children that went to middle school just like I did, and the kids picked on them because they were wearing Medicaid glasses. Now look, there's nothing wrong with having any kind of assistance from any kind of program. But back in my era, my age, you knew when a family was receiving food stamps, because I come from an era where they were actual paper coupons. Paper coupons that you would take and you would use to buy groceries in the grocery store. If you got Medicaid, everybody knew it, because if you wore glasses, there was just this one standard glass. It was a really thick Coke bottle glass that you wore, and everybody knew that you wore the cheap glasses that Medicaid paid for. Now, granted, I was a very short young lady, so now I'm wearing Medicaid glasses, and everybody knows it. My clothes, they're coming from Ames or Maxway. They were the local stores that we had. It was like secondhand, right? Basically like a Walmart of my time. On top of that, I hadn't lost what my grandmother had called my baby fat, right? So I was a little chunky. So, I mean, I was picked on. I was picked on a lot, which is very unfortunate because there was nothing wrong with where I come from. It was nothing wrong with the fact that my family worked so hard. It was nothing wrong with the fact that they didn't have the finest of things. They worked very hard for everything that we had. And I didn't want that for my children growing up. I wanted my children to be able to have a good standard right from the beginning. I wanted them to have a good life. And the only way I could do that was to educate myself, to put myself out there to say, okay, I want more. And I want to give families just like me, where I come from, the hope that they can have more too. But if somebody would have taken the time to educate my mother on retirement, if somebody would have taken the time to educate my father on insurance, if somebody would have taken the time to show them how to build a budget and to grow their credit and how to buy that first car, how they could have name brand clothes without paying full price for these things, don't you think that they would have had nicer? I certainly do. So it's my job and my duty to you to make sure that everybody gets a fair shot at a retirement. Everybody gets a fair shot of understanding how taxes work. Everybody can build a strong budget that they can rely on and start saving. And if we can start saving completely tax-free, well, let me just tell you, that's even better. So in the episodes to come, we're going to have wonderful hosts that come on board with me. And we're going to show you how to budget. We're going to show you how to buy those name brand clothes on a budget. You know, I call it BB, bougie on a budget. Just because you have nice things don't mean you have to buy those ticket items at full price. What if I could teach you when and how is the best time to buy a new car? What if I could teach you how to become debt-free? Would you take the time and listen? Especially if I gave it to you for free and all you had to do was tune into me every single week to get a new episode. So I am a licensed broker in all 50 states. So it doesn't matter what state you're viewing me from. I know that we can help you. Now, I have a couple of businesses, so you might want to check me out on some of the other social medias. And I do give out a lot of free content every single week. I also do free financial seminars, not only to individuals, but to businesses alike. Now, guys, I'm very passionate about everything I do, and it's my mission. I have made it my goals in life to make sure that not only can I help you today by you viewing me, but I travel around doing free financial seminars in each state. And I don't just help individuals, I help businesses, especially small businesses. Because it's the small businesses that we really should be supporting, not the Walmarts, not the local malls. They're big chains. They're not going to go anywhere. It's the mom and pop businesses that are in your backyard that are going to support you when something happens to your family. It's going to be the one that supports your children when they're doing sports. That's what we want to do. We want to support those small businesses. I want to help them thrive. But I also want to teach you that you can have hope to have your own business if you want. The only thing you need is somebody to lay out a plan for you. And if I could lay that plan out for you, would you tune in to me every week?